My travels have brought me to Charleston, South Carolina, and the Warren Lash Conservation Center along the banks of the Cooper River. It's the current home of the CSS Hunley, an American Civil War era submarine that made history right here off the shore of Charleston Harbor on 17 February 1864. And then disappeared for 131 years. Entering the museum, you're presented with an old Civil War era submarine. But this is not the Hunley. It's called the Pioneer. Actually, a replica of the Pioneer. An early variant of what Confederate designers thought a submersible weapon should look like. Built in New Orleans, the design never had a chance to prove itself. Union forces took over the city in 1862, and the vessel was scuttled. This is more like what the CSS Hunley looked like. Unlike the pointed ends of the Pioneer, the Hunley featured a blunt bow and stern. The vessel had a crew of 8, 7 of which served as an engine, cranking the propeller shaft, and a commander who maneuvered the submersible. This is a movie prop used in the making of the movie H.L. Hunley, giving one a feel of what it was like inside. When the hatches were closed, it became an airtight tank. No fresh air, no air conditioning. The only light came in through these small ports during the day, or a single candle at night. The idea of a submersible vessel has been around for over 2,000 years. However, a viable submersible design remained elusive. Then, the American Revolutionary War came along in 1776. Built with the intention of sinking British warships, the Turtle was constructed. It was an egg-shaped submersible, basically a great big barrel, operated by a single person. It successfully sank not a single one of the British fleet. 90 years later, America found itself embroiled in a civil war. Desperate to break the naval blockade of the South, the Confederacy began to explore using submersibles to sink enemy warships. After experimenting with several designs and prototypes, on 17 February 1864, the CSS Hunley set out from Charleston Harbor. A 30-foot spar protruded like a harpoon from her bow. At its tip was a barrel filled with 130 pounds of black powder with a barbed iron spear, the vessel's single weapon. The plan was to ram the weapon into the side of a Yankee ship, then back away, leaving the powder keg behind, skewered to the side of the ship. Once far enough away, a lanyard could be pulled, setting off the charge. If it worked, it would be a highly effective weapon. The Hunley's crew steadily cranked away on the propeller shaft as Lieutenant Dixon steered the vessel through the mouth of the harbor out into the Atlantic. Their destination, the USS Housatonic, a 1,240-ton sloop of the United States Navy, stationed around 4 miles offshore, blockading the harbor entrance. By the time they neared the Housatonic, it was nearly 9 p.m. and dark. At best, one can only speculate as to what was going on inside the Hunley. I think it's safe to assume the crew was exhausted after cranking the propeller for several hours. The Hunley successfully rammed its weapon into the hull of the Housatonic, which exploded, sending the ship to the bottom in just 5 minutes. That event secured Hunley's place in the history books, making it the first submarine to successfully sink a warship. But the submarine, too, also went to the bottom that night, which begs the question, with the cost of success being the loss of the vessel and crew, just how successful was it? I'll leave that up to you to decide. The fate of the Hunley remained unknown for over a century, other than it was out there somewhere off the mouth of the harbor. The wreck was discovered in 1995. Finally, after 136 years of sitting on the bottom, the craft was carefully raised in the year 2000 back into the light of day. The remains of all 8 crew members were still there, still at their stations within the hull. The legend of Captain George Dixon and his lucky gold coin has captured the imaginations of many over the years. The legend has it that Dixon was struck by a bullet during the Battle of Shiloh in April of 1862. Miraculously, his life was spared. The bullet stopped by a $20 gold coin he carried in his pocket. The forever deformed Liberty $20 gold coin became Dixon's prized good luck charm from then on. As the remains were carefully examined and eventually removed from the sub, personal artifacts started to be found. Tools, metal buttons, a pocket knife, a watch, a crew member's shoe, and even a Union ID tag. And then a bent gold coin emerged from the sediment, sitting atop the bones of Lieutenant Dixon in the forward part of the submarine, inscribed with Shiloh, April 6, 1862, my life preserver, with the initials of George E. Dixon, leaving no doubt the legend of the gold coin was absolutely true. The Hunley has been undergoing a preservation process. Today it sits immersed in a solution of water and sodium hydroxide, which aids in the removal of concretions formed on the hull while it was on the ocean floor, and also helps remove salts which have penetrated into the iron. Eventually, the process will be complete and the vessel will go on permanent display. Should you find yourself in the Charleston area, a trip to see the Hunley is definitely worth your time. But check their website, because as of the release of this video, the museum is open on weekends only. Remember, life is a journey. Enjoy the ride, and thanks for watching.